the studio, whom I'm interviewing. This is the general headquarters of Punchline Africa Television. We want to take the opportunity to thank the government of Republic of Kenya, the East African community, the African continent, for listening to our plea, giving us the freedom to discuss issues that destroy Africa. We have no regrets for stating statements truthfully what is going on in Africa. The truth is that there is no Nigeria anymore. And if Africans are waiting for Nigeria, and they go to AU and they say, we have Nigeria, we have Buhari, maybe we have Buhari 6.1 feet, but we don't have Nigeria. I have no good words. His Excellency, President Buhari, has to pull up his socks. We are crying for the Nigerians, for the state of Nigeria. It is collapsing. The killings, the murder, the rape, the defilement, the destruction of property, the slaughter of youth, because of one thing they ask for, freedom to express themselves, is what makes me very upset. But let me cool down and I come to my guest. My guest today is Mr. Mazi Namdu Kanu, the leader of indigenous people of Biafra. Welcome to the show, Mr. Namdi Kanu.
Thank you very much, sir, and thank you for having me on your wonderful program today. It's an honor. I've been looking forward to for a very long time. For very many years, we've been watching, and I'm glad to be here today.
Thank you very much. Today, we are honored, and we want to start off by giving you a chance for us to know you, because many of my people in Kenya, and as you are aware, Kenya is a member, is the chairperson of Africa Peace Security Council. The authorities in this country, Kenya, are watching. They want to know the difficulties that you have. Two, Kenya also has a lot of Nigerian refugees who have come to Kenya to apply for asylum, especially from the southeast of the Biafran area. They are here, and we should not keep quiet and tell lies. There are many here. They want to know in East Africa, in Uganda, in Tanzania, in Zimbabwe. I found very many of them. Zimbabwe has given them a lot of asylum. We want to know you. Who are you, sir?
I am Mazi Namdu Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. I represent every aspiration and hope that over 70 million people harbor all over the world. Our job is to restore Biafra in peace and not in pieces by seeking a very simple route via a UN-supervised referendum or place without, as the case may be. We are here to restore our land to the way it was before the white man came. What we are doing is nothing against Nigeria per se. What we are trying to say is that Nigeria as presently constituted is not working, and we are doing all we can to try to raise the levels of human development, of our understanding, education, health sector, the economy, and all the rest of it. If we continue to remain in Nigeria, not just are we going to suffer, but the whole continent of Africa is going to suffer as a result, as a consequence of the ineptitude, the corruption, the backwardness, the retrogressive mindset of the people who are presently in charge of that very place. Initially, most people tend to see us as not being Pan-African enough. I am a Pan-Africanist. I believe in the unity of the African state. My preference would be for Africa to have one nation, one government, one people, even one language if that is possible. I am a subscriber to the very fine influence of Kiswahili amongst the people of East Africa. And I wouldn't mind if that were to be the lingua franca for Sub-Saharan Africa. I don't mind at all. But we must face reality and we must face facts We as Africans are tribal by nature. We are ethnic by nature. That is why every Christmas, every Easter, every celebration that we have, we go back to where we come from. We go to our villages, we go to our towns. That is who we are. And we're not going to deny that. What we are trying to do is to reassert who we are before the white man came and destroyed every vestige of honor and dignity that we once had. And in Biafra, we are going to restore that. And from Biafra, the rest of Black Africa will also be free. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for explaining the position of Pan-Africanism. Because critics talk about, as much as we are Pan-African station, we always talk about Pan-African unity. But I've argued my case before the AU and said, you cannot talk of Pan-African unity. One part of Africa is bleeding. How that cannot be. In Nigeria, there's one party bleeding. In Gabon, Cameroon, there's one party bleeding. We can't talk about Pan-African and leave people who are bleeding. I am happy that you have touched the word Pan-Africanism. Many Africans, including your former leaders, have said Nigeria needs rearrangement. I picked something from you. I want to see this rearrangement. What is this? Babangida. Former President Babangida said Nigeria needs rearrangement because it can't work anymore. The marriage cannot work. It is true that the marriage cannot work. It is true that the people, the Igbo, are discriminated. When they go to Abuja, they are told go home. Where yet the home is Nigeria. Abuja is Nigeria. I've done investigative work undercover and I've discovered all these things. I'm not being told by you. But I've been with my Nigerian people who have actually ended up being discriminated in their own country. So given this scenario, I want to find out from you, from what perspective do you think Africa should come in, the whole of Africa should come in to bring the plight of the Biafran people, the indigenous people, whom you have been fighting for? How do we come in as Pan-Africans?
How you can come in is by doing what very courageous leaders in Africa did in relation to the case of South Sudan. Because in the case of Nigeria, the center can no longer hold. Everyone knows, the whole world is aware of the fact that we are ideologically, psychologically, culturally, religiously, and socially diverse. There is no meeting point. It's a very good thing that you talked about East Africa, for instance. In East Africa, there is some semblance of cohesion because Kiswahili is the lingua franca. Perhaps somebody from Uganda may understand somebody, or let's say some people from Tanzania. Some Tanzanians may be able to understand somebody, let's say, from Rwanda, because they speak the same language, they have the same understanding. So that is the basis for building something called a national cohesion. In the case of Nigeria, that is conspicuously absent. It doesn't exist. Now, the fact of the matter is this. Africa, the way it is presently set up and constituted, are merely colonial constructs, where you have people coexisting happily together. Perhaps they are very fortunate. In the case of West Africa and Nigeria in particular, I have nothing, and I repeat, nothing in common with the average Fulani person. I have more things in common with even a white British person than I do with a Fulani person. I mean, we have nothing in common. Their value system is markedly different from ours. We cannot see eye to eye. I'll give a very simple example. The recent case of the banning of the movement of cattle on foot in the southern part of Nigeria, for instance. In the north, that is a normal thing for them to have. But in the south, it is absolutely strange. Having young people walking around your neighborhood with AK-47. At the slightest provocation, they kill people. That type of culture is alien to those of us from the South. And that's what we are trying to say. And it's a very good thing that we are not alone in seeking for a distinct, or should I say, separate identity. Our Oduduwa, our Yoruba brothers are also asking for the same thing, because they too have come to the realization that this Nigeria is unworkable. The Middle Belt is doing the same thing. It is not born out of hatred for anybody. That is the mistake that people keep making all the time. Most analysts and, should I say, news journalists tend to think that somehow we hate Nigeria. Of course, that is not the case. What we deplore, what we detest and cannot live with is the level of hypocrisy, the level.
I did say here that we've had, heathers in our communities, dating over 100 years back. And we've always had minor quarrels settled by the village heads in those years. But that suddenly, it could be because of the failure of Libya and also crisis in some other West African countries. The heathers that have been trained violently with AK-47 began to infiltrate, into Nigeria, and Southeast not an exception. And so these are the people that now initiated a different dimension of heathers farmers crisis.
Business enterprise. That everyone with a vested interest in Nigeria
began to rape the women.
You have just mentioned
people began to
people who are running the show, the oil companies.
This is how we came to the conclusion.
They are watching.
In the sense that
they have never raised
them are arrested, and of course
on BBC, CNN,
they don't speak
international agencies. We don't hear
it, and of course,
apart from we
even the security agencies
as Africans ourselves,
have also
these agencies are not helping to say there are human rights abuses in Nigeria.
Yes.
For example,
I love what
the American embassy closed
the issue of
its
paying ransom
consulate in Abuja because of the huge numbers of people applying for asylum to go to the United States. But American embassy did not go far, and the American government did not go far to condemn and put sanctions on Buhari for failing to contain the malaise that has killed Nigeria. Two, if corporation, we know that. The same goes for Shell, for BP, for Halliburton, for ExxonMobil, and all the rest of them. They operate the way they like in Africa because we've allowed them to. I was in Texas a few months ago. Most of these oil companies are there. But the type of environmental degradation destruction and damage that we are witnessing in Biafra land do not obtain in Texas, because there they have laws governing their operation, how they exploit, how they extract and distribute this very vital natural resource. But because Nigeria, I think it's a cliche that Nigeria is corrupt. What people don't understand is the depth of the damaging effect of corruption that you have. And I'll give a very simple example. We cannot expect white people to have regard for us when we do not have regard for ourselves. That can never ever happen. Do you know that in Nigeria they import fuel? Are you aware that Nigeria imports petrol?
Yes, I've seen the queue. I've seen the queue at the petrol station. Yes.
Do you know that Nigeria imports kerosene? Oh. They have 5 viable state-of-the-art refineries. Not one of them is functioning, not one single one. When white people are operating in such an environment, seeing how foolish and how stupid the entire country is in terms of their priorities, how do you then expect them to have respect for you or have regard for you? They can go into our land, they can pollute it. Katrina Lang, the British High Commissioner to Nigeria, can be running the show, marginalized, because there seems to be a recognition that these people do not reason like human beings. That is the fact. That is the fact. Tell me what an ambassador will be doing, crisscrossing the entire nation, telling them how to run their security architecture, telling them who to kill and who to spare. Our lawyer had the mom killed 2 days ago. Barrister Okorafo, the mother was assassinated only 2 days ago. All because he was exposing what the army is doing to innocent people. That tells you all you need to know about Nigeria. Nigeria is an albatross around the neck of Africa. Nigeria is the only country in Africa actually dragging Black Africa backwards because of their ineptitude, because of their criminal mindset, and because of the drive of the Fulani to dip the Quran in the Atlantic Ocean. That is the problem. There is nothing wrong with Islam, don't get me wrong. There are some very wrong interpretations of the religion of Muhammad that the Fulanis are using as a driving factor in their push to take over the land belonging to the indigenous people all across Nigeria. They've done the same thing to a relative extent in the Middle Belt. They took a chunk of Yoruba land in Ilorin, where they have an emirate today. The same thing they're trying to do in our land, and we said no to it. And the whole world is there. The US mission is in Nigeria. The UK is in Nigeria. EU is in Nigeria. The UN is in Nigeria. And there is wholesale murder and slaughter of people going on in Biafra as I speak to you right now. This very minute. The same people, they claim they know where Boko Haram is from where they launched the attack. The same country is openly supporting ISIS in West Africa. Go to the newspaper pages yesterday, you will see it there. Nigeria government actually supporting ISIS to take over the terror franchise from Boko Haram. They are not hiding it anymore. There's a terrorist who is there as a minister. Now tell me which country in the world will allow a terror sympathizer to be a minister of state only in Nigeria? How can such a country be allowed to exist? Because of what some corrupt people are gaining in America. Because of what some corrupt individuals are gaining from Europe. Because of the corrupt tendencies of Katrina Lang, who is the UK High Commissioner to Nigeria. That is what is happening to us. And because we have no reason up to challenge this very orthodoxy of repression and oppression, that is why that woman keeps gallivanting all over the place, deciding who should live and who should be killed. It is not the fault of Total, not the fault of Shell, not the fault of Mobil. We allowed them, we created the environment to allow them to be so corrupt that now they're controlling our lives. And that is what Biafra will bring to an end. I did not say that Biafra will stop the business of Total. I never said I will not do business with Shell. No, not at all. But it has to be business between two human beings, not a set of human beings and one set of animals.
Thank you very much for that question. Let me come back to the question of referendum. You parted ways, and most of us have parted ways with Buhari about the referendum. The people of Biafra have said, and the entire Nigeria, not only Biafra, most people that I meet or whom I've met, including Obasanjo, several times I've confronted Obasanjo. By the way, me and Obasanjo, we can't sit on the table for 2 minutes without exchanging tables because I can't manage. I have asked, and Obasanjo asked, why don't you give a referendum? The marriage is broken. The marriage is gone. The marriage is not worth it. Do you think the referendum issue now can help to stabilize Nigeria? And if so, when and how can the African Union, the Commonwealth, the European Union, and the UN can help to make sure that this referendum is put in place?
The only way to go is a referendum, because I am a Democrat at heart. I believe that the democratic will of the people must be expressed at all times, and that is the basic governing principle of any viable society. I am an advocate of referendum, and the sooner they conduct it, the better. It's been muted in the past through their so-called rejigging of their constitution, through their so-called sovereign national conference, which has been coming on and off from time to time. Any new arrangement that seeks to keep Nigeria together as one must be subject to the will of the people. So either way, a referendum is going to come anyway. It may be delayed, but it is ultimately going to come. Now, one thing you must understand is this. There are very corrupt countries around the world. Maybe on the surface of it, they're not corrupt. But they have very corrupt operators that will prefer Nigeria to remain in the very hopeless state that it is in at the moment. Nigeria is in a very hopeless state. A lot of people are making money by virtue of the corrupt nature of Nigeria. Do you know that Shell BP can sell 1 million barrels of crude oil in a day and only report that they only sold 100? Do you know there is no meter? Where the crude oil is being loaded onto the tankers at the terminal in Biafra land where I come from, there is no meter. You can take as much as you like and declare whatever you like. These interests want to keep Nigeria one. Every ambassador to Nigeria gets a welcome handshake of $1 million. Once you're posted to Nigeria from a well-to-do country, so to speak, the ambassador is bribed immediately there and then. That is how you start your work. You will not believe what I'm about to tell you. Do you know that the U.S. ambassador to Nigeria organized, or should I say, convinced the Biden administration to allow the U.S. military to come for an exercise in the Gulf of Guinea in order to checkmate Biafra and Ambazonia, freedom fighters? The same people did not go to the north, where they have Boko Haram, where they have ISIS, where they have Ansaru, where they have Fulani herdsmen terrorists. People tormenting, killing, raping, kidnapping, and pillaging on a every blessed day they do this. Do you know that it is not the recommendation of the U.S. ambassador to Nigeria that U.S. must commit their troops to the north? That they are in the Gulf of Guinea, exercising, saying that we dare to fight crime both on land and on sea. But there is no crime going on. The places where the crimes are going on are all in the Sharia north. And I want to bring you back to this idea of referendum once again. Do you know that the Northerners, the Fulani people, they agitated for Sharia in the 12 northern Fulani-controlled states of Nigeria, excluding Middle Belt? Do you know that your good friend, as you are saying, Obasanjo, gave it to them?
It's not my
referendum. They're your good friend because I hate you more than you do.
Okay.
The man is a joke. Let me tell you this. Do you know that the Fulanis campaigned, including Buhari, of course, the late one who is in Saudi Arabia somewhere in a shallow grave? Do you know that these people campaigned for Sharia to be introduced in Fulani-controlled northern states? I think about 12 or 13 states. There was no hoo-ha. Nobody opposed them. In other words, the Fulanis themselves have divided Nigeria into two by virtue of their insistence on having Sharia. That is why today the Chief Justice of Nigeria is a Sharia lawyer, not a secular lawyer, not a secular judge, a Sharia court judge elevated to the position of the Chief Justice of a secular federation. Now you tell me.
Your Excellency Namdi Khan, is this the man, the Chief Justice, who said his papers were eaten by termites?
That's correct. yes, it's him.
Oh my God.
That's the type of
yes, continue.
It's him. He is a Sharia court. He's an alkali in a Sharia court. But today, he is the Chief Justice of a secular state practicing common law. How do you expect us to accept such nonsense? Who in their right mind will live under such conditions? Who in their right mind will? That is what we want Africans to understand. It's not that we hate anybody. We are Pan-Africanists. I want one Africa. I want one united Africa. But an Africa found on the basis of justice, fairness, equity, and progress. Not one found on retrogression, on backwardness, on corruption, on stealing, and on looting. That tells you all you need to know about Nigeria. Can you tell me why they're deploying troops to Biafra at the moment? Killing people every blessed day. The same people drafting or asking their troops to be deployed to Biafra land, they know where Boko Haram are. They know where to find ISIS in the north. But they will not go and confront them. It's only to come to the east to kill people because we are peaceful. Such injustice we are no longer prepared to tolerate. And that is why, referendum or no referendum, we are going. We are going. It's as simple as that.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency Namdi Khan. Let me bring you back to 1966. Several constitutions had been negotiated. But none addressed the fundamental question of social justice differences, political tensions, economic marginalization, competition, ethnic imbalances. In all this, from 1966, several constitutions have been brought. People started fighting. In 67, the war ended. Since then, upon the military took power, Obasanjo, Babangida, another one who died, and another one, seven of them. The changes, nobody has been mentioning what ails Nigeria. At the center of it, it looks like you are mentioning it now. I can see, any observer on Nigeria can see your plight, like just as we can see the plight of many African countries. When you talk of 13 states having Sharia law, a chief justice who says his papers were eaten by termites becomes the chief justice based on Sharia law and using common law. Now, should the changes be made and should the adjustment be made, is there any hope that Nigeria remains alone? This is a question from a very senior head of state in Africa. He has asked me just now, I should put it to you. He's from southern part of Africa. Can Nigeria remain together in case these are addressed? Yes, sir.
It is up to the people of Nigeria to decide if they want to be together or not. During a referendum or a place besides, I'm only entitled to just one vote. Only one vote. It is now left for the people to decide what to do. That is why we said to Nigeria, we don't want to break away unilaterally. We want it to be done with the consent of the people. And during the early life of this APC terrorist regime in Nigeria, they did actually mute the idea. They discussed it among themselves that whatever new arrangement is being proposed must be subject to the will of the people. I will say to that question, let the people decide. Anything they decide, I'll go with it. Anything that people come together to decide, this is what we want to do, I will submit myself to because I am a Democrat. What I'm trying to say is that the present condition of Nigeria is no longer tenable. It is no longer tenable. It cannot be tolerated any longer. And that's why we're doing what we can legally and legitimately to bring it to an end.
Okay. Let's come to African Union. President Uhuru Kenyatta is the chairperson of Africa, or Kenya is the chairperson of African Union Peace Security Council. He is the chairperson of all peace and security arrangement in Africa. He is also a member of the United Nations Security Council, representing Sub-Saharan Africa. He has huge numbers of Nigerians seeking asylum every day in Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania. What do you want him to hear? What do you want him to hear now? What message you give to them, to the AU, that the situation is not as they think, so that people can wake up and help you?
You have the right to want to remove your body hair quickly and properly without cutting yourself. The latest generation of Veep Pure Inspirations hair removal cream has been created for just that. Easy, fast, and with no risk of hurting yourself. Your body hair, your choice, our products.
What I want President Uhuru Kenyatta to understand is this. Contrary to all the fallacious lies and misinformation coming from Nigeria, we are not against African unity. We want Africa to prosper. And what is happening from what you said, what is experiencing now in Kenya and in other East African countries in terms of the huge numbers of people seeking refugee status and asylum is indicative of the decay and the death that Nigeria is going through at the moment. And unless they step in now to do the right thing, believe you me, they will get millions upon millions of people asking for asylum in their countries in no distant future. Let it not be said that the disintegration of Nigeria will somehow bring an end to Africa's cohesion and unity. It is a lie. It's a lie. It will strengthen it. Nigeria is the country dragging Africa backwards, being purportedly the most populous nation, black nation in the world, with vast reserves of oil and gas in my land in Biafra. A lot has been expected of Nigeria over the years, but each time they have failed. If you go to a place like Rwanda that I'm sure you have been to, if you go to Kigali and see what Paul Kagame has been able to do with meager resources that they have, I am sure the same transformation is taking place all across Ethiopia, taking place all across Kenya. You can see viability of economic life and prospect. None of that exists in Nigeria. They only sell crude oil. And they import everything, including refined petrol as well. What I want African leaders to understand today is this, that Nigeria is the problem of Africa. If you terminate Nigeria, it's like a cancer growing somewhere on the body of Africa. Once you get rid of Nigeria, believe you me, Africa will spring to life. Let them not be deceived. Don't allow yourselves to be deceived to think that we need this huge country with huge population and vast natural resources to be relevant in the world, on the world stage. That is a lie. Because the size of Nigeria, the way it is today, was predetermined by our colonial masters. Britain said, we want to use Nigeria to influence every other country in Africa. That was their game plan. Britain wanted to control Africa through Nigeria. It's there in the official documents. And I'm saying to Africans today, don't allow that to happen. As you say, the level of Fulani mediocrity in Nigeria has made it almost impossible. The best way for us to go is for Africans to understand that Nigeria is a tumor, a cancerous tumor, very dangerous one. Cut it out and Africa will be free.
Okay. Thank you very much. I just want you to take a slow pace now. I want to come to ask a question that has happened to me also. We seem to be swimming in the same field. That's why you see we are the same. The loss of your parents, you did not attend. I also did not attend. The death of my father, I have never buried him. I am in the same category like you. I want us to go slow and see You were not allowed to attend to bury your parents. How did you handle this? I know I am slightly older than you in years. I have handled.
Are you sure?
Yes, I am.
Are you sure?
I'm 65.
My goodness, you look very young.
Yes, I'm 65. And
that's very good.
I have, when I lost my parents, I was also in exile in Britain, and I could not bury them. How did you yourself handle this matter, and how do you encourage others? There are millions of refugees on the African continent, in South Sudan. Some of them don't know where their parents are. But the people have gone to make political leadership, but they have forgotten accountability. That's why South Sudan peace process is collapsing, because there's no accountability. So how did you handle that? And did it encourage you and give you resolve to keep pushing for a better Nigeria or a better Biafra? Please.
It's kept me pushing for a better society for everybody. Everybody, not just within Biafra or within the wider Nigeria, but across Africa as a whole. Because what concerns one black person actually should concern another black person as well. I put my parents' murder by the Nigerian state into context. The only thing that matters to me is the freedom for Biafra, of which I am prepared to pay whatever price that God requires of me to pay in order to ensure that Biafrans are set free. That was how I managed to, should I say, compartmentalize that very grief at that moment in time. And I might also add that my mother-in-law is dead as a result of the same thing. 2 days ago, one of our lead attorneys, they actually threw a hand grenade into the mother's car and killed her and burnt her body only 2 days ago. I see these things as necessary sacrifice that we must go through in order to restore Biafra, that is essentially the kingdom of God upon the face of this very earth. For that, we are prepared to pay whatever price that we are called upon to pay to ensure that the people of Biafra and every other ethnic group being oppressed in Nigeria and wider Africa is set free. That's my mindset. And that was how I dealt with it. As horrible as it was that I couldn't attend as the first child and as the first son, my father's burial, my mother's burial, but I see them as being very essential sacrifices that one has to make in order to ensure that the people are set free.
Thank you very much. I am also the first son, so maybe that's why I started fighting for the Biafran people. Let me come back, take you back to the question of Boko Haram. You mentioned one point which is very clear. Security agencies across Africa would like to know what ails. Why is Buhari? By the way, is Buhari or we have a problem here? Because the human being should understand that people are dying. The army, Nigeria has a huge army. Is the army coward? Are they cowards? Do they protect who? Are they protecting the territory of Nigeria? How does the army allow people to come and kidnap citizens, take them, then in piecemeal release them 2, 3, 4 back? Who are these? Is it an internal collaboration between the army, Buhari, and his generals? Who is commanding this army? Surely the army that cannot even rescue 5 students from girls who have been abducted. What type of army is this? Is there a bigger thing than Boko Haram? I have been requested by another reader from Tanzania to say, why is this Boko Haram menace never cleared? Why is Nigeria not asking for themselves? Please shed some light to our viewers.
I want Africans to understand one fact today. The entire terror architecture in Nigeria is hinged on the political aspirations and hegemonic tendencies of only one tribe, the Fulani. We have no issues with the Hausa, the Bachama people, and all the rest of them. It is the Fulani. And this game plan has been in existence for a very, very long time, nearly 200 years ago. And they must execute it. I want Africans to understand that only the Fulani tribe alone financed and sponsored almost 6 terror groups exclusively by themselves. Before Buhari came into power in 2015, he said, at the height of the insurgency, an attack against Boko Haram is an attack against the North. I will leave that to one side. I want your viewers to understand something today, which previously maybe they may not have been aware of. Do you know that Boko Haram nominated Buhari as their chief negotiator in 2014-2015? Are people aware of that at all? Do you know that these same people only a few years ago said that these murderers and these rapists, they are our misguided brothers? Do you know that their so-called Sheikh Gumi, who happens to be very close to the presidency, I need you to understand this very clearly, the one negotiating with the bandits, are you aware that their recommendation is for ISIS and Boko Haram to merge together, that they can come south? I want these points to be noted by your viewers all over the world. So when you see these people, you ask them these questions. Do you also know that the leader of the dreaded ISIS in West Africa province, ISWAP, his name is Al-Banawi. Al-Banawi is the son of Yusuf Muhammad, the founder of Boko Haram. Do you know that this man was arrested around about the same time that I was in detention in 2015? Do you know that he was released without trial on the orders of the presidency of Nigeria? Do you know that the 4th largest terror group in the world, the Fulani headsmen, which the whole world knows, the 4th largest terror group in the world, the Amiyet Yala, do you know that the presidential spokesman came out and said live on national television that these terrorists are legitimate stakeholders in the government, in the governance of Nigeria? Are you aware of that? Do you know that despite telling the whole world that these murderers and these killers are from the Sahel, they are not Nigerian Fulanis? Do you know they're forcing us today to give them our land so they can settle in perpetuity? Are you aware of that? Let me also shock you this morning. From the office of the Inspector General of Police of Nigeria, a letter came out titled Terror Elements to Expand Frontiers of Attack. In this very letter, signed on behalf of the Inspector General of Police of Nigeria, of which Katola Lang and the U.S. Ambassador are both aware. Here, they mentioned the specific places where they claim the leaders of Boko Haram are hiding. Understand this? I want the world to know that this Fulani expansionism is a well-planned, orchestrated move to take over the land of indigenous people and hand it over to marauding Fulani nomads across the Sahel. A letter from the IG of Police of Nigeria. In this very letter, they mentioned the names of the places where they felt or they believed their intelligence told them that these people are hiding. They did not send Nigerian army or police there to go and confront them. Instead, they sent them